Welcome to Big Boy Crypto. My name is Ben. Today we're going to be talking about Terra Luna and how SBF is involved in the Terra Luna crash. We have a video for you a little bit later today where we're going to go into more of the details on how all of this scam actually occurred. Dan Freiberg, this is someone you need to pay attention to. He is right now making phone calls all across the law industry, claiming he had no idea that any of this stuff was happening. Dan, we got you, so you guys just wait patiently. This afternoon, there's a big article that just got put out. We're talking about it later. But I just want to touch on something. What you guys are going to find over the next several weeks is that a lot of the things that we've been telling you occurred that we haven't been able to necessarily provide the proof for yet, that they're all going to happen one by one by one. Now, one of these things I've been telling you guys, I told you, I believe last week, is that yes, SBF and FTX and Alameda have been responsible for every single crash this year. Three Arrows Capital, Terra Luna, Celsius, Voyager, every single one. BlockFi, obviously now, FTX itself. They've been responsible for every single one. There's also going to be evidence that's going to come out that that SBF was responsible for a bridge hack, a bridge attack on Binance. They were also responsible for a scam wick with leverage trading on Binance itself many, many months ago. You're going to find just how deep this goes. The rabbit hole, it just continues to go deeper and deeper. And we're not even touching on the corruption of the government and all this and what this potentially means. So at some point I may have to chill or I might get killed. So what happened? Well, basically there was big Twitter spaces over the weekend, obviously. I missed it. I got invited to it a bunch of times, but I was asleep, hanging out with the family. And the fact is one of the, a lady involved with Huobi basically came out and said that CZ knew what was going on with FTX and Alameda with the borrowing back and forth, and that Terra Luna was just another piece in that puzzle. Because if you didn't know this, there was a backdoor built into FTX so Alameda could borrow whatever they needed to borrow to come and take the user funds and then go spend the user funds on leverage trading. They would do low leverage, relatively low leverage, safe trades. But of course, just like any, crazy degenerate trader, they got a little more risky and ended up biting them. So there was an $8 billion hole, okay, on Alameda's books. Well, they borrowed that $8 billion from FTX, but what did that create? An $8 billion hole on FTX with user funds. So what did SBF and FTX have to do? Well, they had to go replace that money. So how did they do that? They shorted Terra Luna, and they were able to create quite a windfall. Now, the thing about a shell game is, it doesn't matter how many times you borrow the money and you put it back, eventually you're going to end up borrowing it and not be able to put it back. And that's what actually happened here over the last couple of weeks. But we now have confirmation, and we know that this is true because obviously so a representative from Huobi wouldn't just come make these allegations. But then not only that, but Suzu, the founder of Three Arrows Capital, also retweeted it. Because what happened after Terra Luna is they started going after Three Arrows Capital. Basically, SBF, we talked about stop-loss hunting and hunting for people's liquidation points. Well, that's exactly what SBF did. They hunted the liquidation point of Three Arrows Capital. Why do you think it went down to 17 and bounced right back up, guys? Why do you think? Why do you think that happened? Where was the liquidation point for Three Arrows Capital? It was like 17.9, a number nobody ever thought it would hit at that time. And it went right down there and came right back up. Now, as far as CZ and what's going on with this situation and him knowing about this, so here's what I know. What I know is that CZ had some hints that this stuff was going on. He had no idea it was as big, as broad, and as massive as it is. And, we were talking about how all this was going to unfold. And we were supposed to have a story. If you saw our story from NBC News on Friday, we were going to blindside SBF and Dan Freiberg with a lot of this stuff. But CZ jumped the gun. CZ jumped the gun. He had no idea how bad all this was. So when he got wind of some of the things that were happening in the background with FTX, he jumped the gun. He stopped it immediately. But I I think ultimately he's probably going to regret that a little bit. It would have probably been a little better for the industry if we would have let this play out a little bit more before actually making them go insolvent, I guess. He just had enough. He had enough. And we know that the SBF had attacked CZ several times, and he pulled the trigger on it. And now what we're seeing is instead of getting a slow burn, everything is burned at once. Now, what is this going to look like for the prices and the markets? I mean, that's a whole other question. We'll be addressing some of that this week going forward. We think it's a good opportunity maybe for some trading, maybe for some, some accumulation maybe, but we're not ready to say that yet because we really need to wait and see how all this shakes out. So there you go. You guys hear it. There is now multiple people reporting that FTX was actually behind Terra Luna and Three Arrows Capital. We've been telling you for a week. There's going to be more evidence of this stuff coming out. All of this was not supposed to unfold this quickly, but it has, and here we are. And you guys know I'm here with you guys every step of the way. I'll be back this afternoon with a video on what really happened with the infrastructure of this scam. So, all right, guys, that's all I got. Be blessed. Big boy out.